Who knew that an Italian plumber would become one of the most recognisable characters on Earth? But where did he come from? Well, today we're going to take a trip down that green pipe and find out as we talk about the history of Super Mario. Our story begins in the early 1980s with a struggling card and toy company called Nintendo. To turn their luck around, they tasked product developer Shigeru Miyamoto with creating a game that would appeal more to Americans to achieve the heights that their other games couldn't. And achieve this he did. After considering several ideas, he settled on one inspired by the American cartoon and comic book character Popeye. Miyamoto's game featured a carpenter named Jumpman who had to rescue his girlfriend named Pauline from a giant gorilla kidnapper named Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was made in 1981 and it was a huge success, but the company didn't take their hands off the joystick and celebrate their win. They quickly developed and released a sequel named Donkey Kong Jr. in 1982, which featured the son of Donkey Kong attempting to rescue his father from the evil clutches of Jumpman. Jumpman's name was later changed to the iconic Mario, and in 1983 he was finally given the chance to be the star of the show, when him and his brother Luigi, now described as plumbers from New York, in the successful arcade game called Mario Bros. In 1985, Super Mario Bros. Was released on the Nintendo Entertainment System. The game was a huge success, selling over 40 million copies worldwide and establishing the platformer genre as a major force in the video game industry. Super Mario Bros. Also introduced many of the gameplay elements that have become synonymous with the franchise, such as power-ups, warp pipes, and the ability to jump on enemies to defeat them. It also introduced other characters, such as the infamous Bowser. By 1988, Nintendo had a stranglehold on the American console market, and thanks to the automatic inclusion of Super Mario Bros. With later versions of the NES, the connection between character and company was reinforced. For example, in the 1980s alone, Mario appeared in 12 NES games. In many cases, he wasn't even essential to the plot. He appeared as the chair umpire in tennis, the golfer in golf, the main character in Wrecking Crew, and the referee in Punch-Out! Simply put, Nintendo put Mario their quality control symbol. If Mario was putting his stamp of approval on the game, you knew it was going to be good. After the success of Super Mario Bros., a sequel was released just 1 year later in Japan. While it was called Super Mario Bros. 2 in Japanese, Nintendo of America thought this game was too challenging. This game later became known as Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. They instead chose to port the Japanese game Doki Doki Panic and released it as Super Mario Bros. 2 in their markets for the NES. As more games were created, more and more characters were added, including my favourite, Yoshi, who first appeared in the 1990 game Super Mario World. In 1996, arguably the greatest Mario game was released for the Nintendo 64, called Super Mario 64. It was the first 3D Mario game and a groundbreaking achievement in video game design. Super Mario Sunshine was released for the Nintendo GameCube in 2002. The game introduced a new mechanic where Mario used a water-spraying device called the Flood to clean up pollution and solve puzzles. Super Mario Galaxy was released for the Wii in 2007, and it featured a new gravity-based gameplay mechanic where Mario could run on walls and ceilings. Super Mario Odyssey released for the Nintendo Switch in 2017. It was the latest mainline entry in the series. It features an open-world structure similar to Super Mario 64 and includes new gameplay mechanics like capturing enemies with Mario's hat. One of my favourite parts of the Mario franchises are all of the different power-ups. How many of these do you know? Super Mushroom. This power-up makes Mario grow in size, allowing him to break bricks and defeat enemies by simply touching them. Fire Flower. This power-up grants Mario the ability to shoot fireballs with his hands. Cape Feather. This power-up gave Mario a cape that he could use to fly and glide through levels. Starman. This made Mario invincible for a short period of time, allowing him to run through enemies and obstacles without taking any damage. Tanuki Suit. This transformed Mario into a raccoon-like creature that could fly and turn into a statue to avoid enemies. Cat Suit. This gave Mario the ability to climb walls and scratch enemies with his claws. Cappy. Mario could use his sentient hat to allow him to capture and control various enemies and objects. Today, the Super Mario franchise remains one of the most popular and beloved video game franchises of all time. With new games and spin-offs still being released regularly, Mario has become a pop culture icon, appearing in movies, TV shows, and even on merchandise like clothing and toys. I hope you liked this video, and don't forget to subscribe. It's free, and it helps us a lot. Till next time, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.